Alright, well that bus driver tangent was interesting, but I think that's we probably dried up our stuff for now. Well, I'm curious if the bus stop is still visitable, because I saw it was after I picked up Keith. A faux rustic wooden sign hangs by the chain above the door. Yeah. Drive away. That's all we got. That's all that's left. Scenario over. Sorry about that. Where's that petting zoo? There it is. So this must be the... Yep. Yeah, the bike always hones in on that spot whenever I get close enough, just to sort of highlight where it is and help make sure I can find it. And I'm noticing that to add to the whole mechanical motif of everything, their gear wheel. That's not really the that's not really a go-to symbol I would use for a bike that's driving around. Like, this is a tire, and a bike basically just also would have a tire. But instead of like a different kind of tire or something, it's a gear as far as I can tell. The entertainment. Or the lower depths. Wow. Oh, right, that's the name of the bar, isn't it? Oh, hey, I've been here before, but didn't go inside. Oh, because I don't do well with bars. That's kind of a concern. Doesn't feel right. Like a deep pit. I wonder sometimes if I'm really up here or still down below. In the zero? It is concerning in there. Looks like we're not having a chat. Kinda late. Are you sure they're open? Sure, they're open. This is just one of those places. We came by earlier and they were closed. Oh, you know it? Pretty rough, huh? We never went inside. It's not that bad. Let's head on in. We are not saints, but we've kept our appointment. How many people can boast as much? That's lovely, ma'am. Who said it? A poet. But you wouldn't know it. Ma'am, I hate to say it, but the cupboard is bare. Have some vision, Cricket. We've got 1, 2, 4 patrons. Harry doesn't count. Well, we've done more with less. What kind of music do you play? It's like Cyrano Cole meets Ike Towner, but with a woman lead, and the keyboards are kind of ambient whisperware. A little bit more reverb. There's some Dolly Crown in there too, like the early stuff before she joined the Sheet Swingers. Better drum programming though. Programming. I don't know who those people are. Well, you'll hear in a minute. A rough brick between 2 pieces of stale bread sits in the center of the table, surrounded by a ring of undisturbed dust. The brick sandwich is making an appearance again. Why is this the theme? A bulky set of black goggles sits on the edge of the table, next to an ashtray, a newspaper, and a few empty glasses. Ah. Who do you think that belongs to? Whoever they are, they're gone now. Must have been pretty tank to leave it behind. This thing looks expensive. Ezra flips eagerly through the jukebox's catalog for songs. What do you think? I don't know how to play this game. He thinks it's a video game. It's not working. All I'm pouring tonight is Hard Times whiskey. Got any coffee going? No coffee. Hard Times whiskey. Say, shut the goddamn door, would you? I can't afford to run the AC all night. Sorry, Harry. Oh, it's you two. Where have you been? Never mind. Listen, I can't keep this place open to the small hours of the night just waiting for musicians. Gets lonely, doesn't it? Yeah, kinda. How about some music? There's nobody here to listen to it. I can't pay for. We brought some people, Harry. A crowd is forming. Yeah, but also Don't you want to hear some music, Harry? That does sound nice after the day I've had, but What is the deal with their robot limbs? I like how it's completely unremarked upon. No one reacts to it or observes it in any real way. There's just constantly a whirring noise coming from them. How's it looking out there? How are y'all feeling tonight? Can we get a bit more reverb in the monitors? Harry adjusts a soundboard behind the bar. How's that? Test, test, 1, 1, 1, 3, 50, lamentation, lamentation. Sounds good. How's everyone doing? Anybody had a real bad night? How about you, old man? Yeah, real bad. We'll try not to make it too much worse. This is a song I heard in a tavern many years ago at an open mic night. Me and Johnny were just out riding around, you know. You drive around? You like to drive around, old man? It's where I feel at home. Of course you do. She always cuts people off. They just start saying something. So you choose the choice, but then all you say is that. Of course you do. So we were out riding around and we passed this gaudy old tavern. I mean, it was a real dive, busted up facade, weeds in the parking lot, taps all dry, bats in the barroom. And run by this creaky old bag of bones, looking like the only thing keeping him awake was the fear of death. So glad to be back here at the lower depths. Hey now. So we stopped by for an early drink, and there was this lady singing right here on stage, and the song she sang, well, it stuck with us, and now it's a regular part of our repertoire. Never got that lady's name, but she seemed like a sweet gal and had a voice like Scotch whiskey. We just hoped we'd do her song justice. So here it is, Too Late to Love You. When you left me, I never should have met you. I wish we'd met before. Oh, you pick one. I wasn't sure what was happening here. I never should have met you. Well, that was neat. Definitely had no idea where it was going, like, at first. I was like, do I say the lines? Are they voiced? There's always the back and forth, like, does this game have voice acting or not? Like, Ghost of a Tale and Night in the Woods both have, like, the full instrumentation and lyrics, but don't sing the lyrics. And it's a bit of like a, huh. Alright, well, you just gotta imagine the lyrics, or in my case, take it as a dare. Well, hope you liked it. Kinda sad, isn't it? Kind of. Listen, we appreciate you folks sticking around for the show. There's nothing more wretched than playing sad songs to an empty room. We've just gotta get our fee from Harry, then we'll get you headed to the, Zero. Do we need them to get to the Zero? Are we not? Is this not where we part ways? Well, Harry, I think that went pretty well. I'd say the crowd was into it. Reverential. Wrapped. I guess the usual fee is about right. We'll let you get back to your business. Well, that's just the... Damn it, I was trying to tell you to. I can't pay. They cleaned me out. I've got nothing left but a GD IOU from the distillery. An IOU. Yeah, I traded them for some whiskey, and I guess I had some surplus credit, so I got this note to get some more for them later on. God, the entertainment chapter was so fucking creepy. It was kind of the highlight. This game's got a lot of highlights, but that was definitely one of them, was just this, like, you don't have to be here for this. You should leave before this thing happens. It almost sounded like there was this suggestion they were gonna, like, betray them and turn them into the company and so on. Traded them for some whiskey. Traded the people, that couple of senior citizens. Traded them for some whiskey. What do you raise parents? Must have been one hell of a trade. I had to. Got to keep this whole place open somehow. God damn it. Watch your language, Harry. Can you pay them with your IOU? Well, very contemporary, very astute. How about it, Harry? Let's just push some paper around. Well, it's just... I can collect it on it here when they bring more whiskey up. But for you to cash in, you'd have to go down to... You know... Down to the distillery. Down to hard times, and, you know, it's... You've got to take the Zero. So that's what we'll do. How do we get there? Are you folks sure you want to head down there? I've never been myself, but I hear... People hear things. Rumors. Do you know another way to Dogwood Drive? Dogwood? Got a letter, did you? I've got a stack of them. Well, okay. Sounds like the Zero's your only course now. Harry, you're all right. If only. You got a radio in your car? Yep. Well, here's what you gotta do. Take a left out of the parking lot, and then just fiddle with your dial until you hear something familiar, but... I mean... Familiar, but strange. You know the feeling. Like, I used to go hunt with my uncle out in the mountains, and now I watch these nature programs. They're filmed in the mountains. And there's the deer. And I know all the plants and every kind of tree, but something just don't look right. And it's even stranger for being so close to familiar. Something like that. You'll know when you hear it. Fix that strange but familiar station on your dial. Drive for a bit. Then turn around when the station cuts out. I mean, right then. Hope you folks find what you're looking for, eventually. Always a pleasure, Harry. Is it? I mean, they get paid. There's a... I think there's a class consciousness commentary happening a bit here. I'm thinking about the director who made Parasite and Snowpiercer and Mother and some other films, in part because I just watched Snowpiercer yesterday, actually, for the second time. Snowpiercer and Parasite are really good. And I'm just noticing this idea that, like, it feels like they're suggesting that this bartender struggling to keep his bar open, like, in order to keep his customers happy, he needs whiskey. Like, he needs product, obviously. His fucking chairs always pop in. So he needs product in order to run his business. But he also needs people to run his business. He needs customers. And here he's gone and traded the customers he had for the supplies for customers. Went and replaced one with the other, as it turns out. It's iffy. The station doesn't quite match this bartender's description. Definitely weird, though. Let's keep scanning. He said we'd know it when we heard it. Apparently. Isn't this the organ? That goddamn organ I listened to on the phone twice. Familiar but strange. Drive for a while until it cuts out and turn around. So I guess he said turn left. How long is a while? I can barely hear the station. I don't think it gets louder either. What's this station? I never heard this before. Sounds like horses. Horses running? A race? I can't hear shit. I said in Ira had some horses years back. Yeah? I've always been a little afraid of them. They're so big and... I don't know. You look in their eyes. They're almost human. Like they're human and animal at the same time. Since they've been domesticated so long, I guess. Well, that fits familiar but strange for me. Harry said we just drive till it cuts out? Let's try to find the station. Okay. Welcome back to the Zero, y'all. Creepy as fuck as always here. Alright. I guess I can try to follow up on these other directions I had before. Let's see. Clockwise to the anchor, counterclockwise to the whirlpool. See if I can find my way there. We're back on the Route Zero. Yeah. Hopefully I didn't just miss anything important. I was getting distracted by this irritating mosquito that I can never quite catch. It keeps flying in my face. The Hall of the Mountain King? That's a traumatic song for me. How dare you bring this back to me? Wait, is that where I was supposed to go? Or is this a side thing? I don't even know. Always blue. They don't keep the roads up too well, do they? Not down here. So empty. Just let it go, I guess. The bridge ends abruptly, crumbling in disrepair. Time to cut them loose, ma'am? Well, now I'm having fun. Ha. Okay, slow night anyway. Time to cut them loose? What, like push us off the cliff? Or just leave? I guess we went and made our way to the Zero, so they don't necessarily need us anymore. A loop of decayed rope is coiled on the banister. Some rotted sections have been smoothed over with the fine dust. Broken computer monitors are heaped precariously among the rocks. I didn't find the optional places I was trying to look for, but maybe we're not really in that part of the game right now. A pet carrier for a cat or small dog has been left by the path. A calcified rag wadded in the corner may once have been a blanket. I guess probably calcified wad. Did I say wad? A hiking backpack leans against a rock. It's empty except for a dusty bag of cat food and a few punch cards. A pile of discarded electronics burns steadily in the center of the chamber. Oh, there's someone here. Oh, it's triangles within triangles down here. Shifting, intersecting, overlaying. Isn't it romantic? Let's see. You're here to steal back the love of a boy you once knew, when you were too young to recognize the movements of the heart. And you're escorting her, pretending to have her interests at heart, while really... Really, you're in love with the young woman as well. And you've agreed to help him conspire to win her affections, but it's just a ploy to set him up for embarrassment and diminish him out of the picture. I'm into it. Well, maybe I still have the knack. I used to be really good at this. I had 11 novels published, from The Billionaire's Bidding to Fields of Longing, red hot Bodis ripping stuff, you know? I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. Just me and my thesaurus, steaming up the windows. You and your thesaurus. Why'd you stop writing? You know, suddenly it was all computers everywhere you went. I thought I might be able to do something with that. Inject a little libido into those ugly beige boxes. Ha! So I went back to the university and studied human-computer interaction, and I picked up Donald's research assistantship here as a tester, debugging. In my off hours, I played around with the doomed love story at the core of our little simulation. That seemed to amuse Donald, so I kept at it. I'm afraid I tinkered too much, made it too complex. Now our work is never done. We don't have to add any new functionality. The bugs just grow on their own. Too complex. I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. A woman in a tattered cardigan looks furtively at the other people around the fire. There's a few people around here. Donald puffs on a smoldering pipe while half mumbling, half singing an old country tune. Where the old green river runs, through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. Oh, who are you? What was that song? Oh, you've caught a verse of my absent-minded warbling. It's just a song from my youth. Something a dear friend used to sing to herself as we hacked on crystal radios in the boiler room. In old Kentucky, where my love a lovely home did build for me, and where the old green river runs, through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. And from there on, it's all meandering rivers and romantic greenery, and that is... What were we talking about? What's that computer over there? Looks pretty vintage. It looks like a harmless old computer, doesn't it? Like some beat-up mainframe exhumed from a university basement and left it in this cave to rot. Or to flower. No. It's no ordinary computer. I've modified it extensively, and in some pretty experimental ways, believe you me. And that's to say nothing of the software, but... You look like a technically minded sort of person. Tell me, do you know the effects of mold growth on diffused base transistor circuitry? The mold would burn up. Exactly. It burns. And oh, the sweet smoke that issues from it. But also leaves a sticky residue that seeps through the machine, forming new connections and creating new circuits. The computer is no longer the pure domain of language or mathematics, but entropy. Thwarted and feeble, we hammer on this derelict keyboard, my name is Reason, King of Kings. But we are mere tourists in these ruins. Our keystrokes echo off into the tunnels, boundless and bare. The caves stretch far away. We are too late. Always too late. What? Did you say something? I'm just interested in the mold computer. The mold computer. Oh, Xanadu. You've heard about it. Perhaps you've read about it in a journal. It's been years since I published anything. Xanadu was evolved significantly since I explained it. Its data structure in my article, Literary Multitudes, Hypertextual Narrative as Post-Structural Witness. Evolved and then deteriorated. Donald sighs dramatically and takes a puff from his pipe. I'm afraid you are too late, fellow hypertext enthusiast. As the mold accumulated on the circuitry, Xanadu blossomed for a moment into something holy and enchanted, and then all the charm was broken. Do you have any idea what it's like to spend your life building something, and then sit powerlessly as your work declines into ruin? Sounds like yes. I drive deliveries for a small antique shop when closing down. Shuffling around dusty ghosts of antiquity. Well, I have my own ghosts, and I keep them in there, in Xanadu. It's running on that glorious, dusty machine. Take a look if you'd like. Too late to do anything but smoke and reminisce anyway. Far too late to do anything. Andrew. And apparently out there somewhere Xanadu. Do you know that when I first... No, I mean, if this cave were larger, could it... Now I'm getting ahead of myself. I've got it. How would you characterize this space? The one we're standing in now? Kinda spooky, but I'm not scared. Spooky for a baby. I think we'd all agree that's a fair assessment. How could... Wait, let's unpack that for a moment. What makes it spooky? No, how do you know it's spooky, or would be spooky for a baby? The tunnels. We're surrounded by them. Look at that one up there. Do you know what? No, let me explain to you what's in that tunnel. You won't be scared. Close your eyes. Will you close your eyes? Only if you close yours. Okay, I can do it from memory. Good, now. You are standing at the top of Rocky Peak. A tongue of flame licks the shadowy anatomies of... Where are we? Oh, here again. How disappointing. Sorry to, disappoint? No, it's my fault. I shouldn't be so attached to the future. It's always getting in the way of my work. Better to be in the moment, carefully observing and documenting, with no attachment. Let me give you an example. I was a grad student studying statistics when I started working with Donald on his project. He said we needed someone with a more analytical mind to do the descriptive writing. Someone who would appreciate the cave descriptions as real labor, instead of taking their authorial voice for granted. Donald warned me that it would be long hours of typing painstakingly detailed descriptions into the computer. And I've put in the hours, believe me. I've put in the hours. I've described every facet of this cave in such detail that sometimes I don't know if I'm reading or looking, writing or exploring. Often, in the dark and lonely moments, I worry that in my sleep I've transcribed rooms from my dreams into the system. How would we know? They could only be entered with precise, faithful detail. That's all I know how to write. And all I dream about is caves. I only dream of caves. What is this project? It's affecting everyone around it. A man wearing large glasses inspects the ceiling. like obsessively documenting a cave, building computers. What a bizarre location. A massive gate constructed out of scavenged materials blocks passage down to the far side of the spire. Like, there's a whole bunch of people here, but then I can press like the Xanadu button to presumably leave. The meaning of this setting is going to take some unpacking, I think. The kingdom is in peril. Roberta laughs. Well, what else is new? Do you work here? Work? You could call it that. I gather old circuit boards and throw them into the fire. Sometimes I fish up precious metals and let them cool into toxic gems. I put them in my hair. Oh no, she's the Mad Hatter. Enchanted jewelry, talismans, a magic mirror that prevents the future, a magic shield that protects the bearer from age, because they die of poisoning, a magic chest that's always filled with... I never went to the university. I was an independent scholar. It means I took the public libraries like a beachcomber. I studied fairy tales. Alice in Wonderland. Then I came to work for Donald. I paid the bills, rubbed leathering elbows with academics, scraped black mold from cave walls. Finally, now I carry the firewood into senescence. Senescence, something like that. The kingdom is in peril. Was she the Mad Hatter, basically? Something like that. The idea of a Mad Hatter was that the materials used in making hats featured mercury, and that's poisoning, and it would affect people's minds. So you got the idea of being mad as a hatter. Baffling control panels are sheltered from the elements with a worn tarp. A closet-sized wall of knobs and wires looms behind the machine, humming faintly. An electric typewriter is the only easily recognized component. How do you think we get it started? This old thing? Maybe there's a hand crank around. Oh, it has a run key. Who? What have we done? Xanadu. Alright. Come at me. Oh boy. So it's trying really hard to generate a scene for me. Oh, this is a trip.